This swing arm has seen some shit. You know that? Look at this thing. This is the bottom of the swing arm. It's just totally freaking covered in dirt and mud. And feeling the bearings, and they're just really stuck and tight and just gritty feeling. And yeah, so here we go, guys. We're gonna rebuild the swing arm here and put some new bearings in the front, put a new carrier with bearings in the back, and get the old RAPTOR back on the road, and hopefully I can go for a ride. Kind of miss riding the old thing. Here we are. This is the front. This is the part that goes towards the engine. This is the bushing that comes out of the front on one side. There's a bolt that goes through here that holds this swing arm to the back of the RAPTOR. And this bushing just came out of here. And basically I just wanted to give you guys a look at the inside. These are the bearings that are supposed to be pivoting. And each one of those is a little tiny needle. Bearing that's supposed to be lubricated and rolling smoothly, and as you can see, they're all just completely jammed with mud and grease, old grease. So those are probably no longer any good. So I'm glad that we got new ones to replace it. This is the seal. This is the seal that goes around the outside, and then your cap sits over that. And the idea is that it's supposed to keep all the water and mud out of there, but what happens is sometimes these just kind of get warped or moved sideways like that, and they leak, and that's how this mud and water gets trapped in here, and it just ends up destroying the whole inside of there if you don't eventually replace the swing arm bushing and bearings. So that's what we're doing today. We're replacing these bearings in the front and these bushings. I got the Vito's kit for it, and we're also going to be replacing the carrier in the back. I've got that pulled out already, and I've got a pre-assembled carrier with fresh bearings from a company called Caltrick, and we're going to be just throwing that in there, a whole new bearing, seal, everything all in one little nice little pre-assembled package. Put that all back in there, put some new bearings in the front, and the new bushings and the new seals on the end, the new dust caps, and then we'll button it all up. So I just took some Simple Green. I know it says glass cleaner. It's not really glass cleaner. It's actually just a bottle I'm using, a spray bottle. Simple Green all-purpose cleaner mixed pretty strong. And my trusty Walmart blue brush from the Walmart cleaning aisle. And I just took it and went over my swing arm, got it cleaned up as best I could, get as much of the junk off the outside as I can before I start taking this all apart and pushing these bearings out so I can push some new ones in with the new everything else I just described, and hopefully get Bruiser back on the trail and making some more trail vlogs for you guys. So yeah, check in again when I get a little bit further along. Alright, got the first seal out. came off the bottom there, or the inside of this side. This is the non-chain side. So the side without the chain, got that bottom seal knocked out there. I just used my extension and the non-sharp kind of rounded edge there at the end and stuck it down in there like that and gave the top a couple of taps. So once I got that out, now I'm looking down in here and I see that this bushing that pushes up against the bearing is ready to basically, you can slide it. It was up against it like that. So with that out, I can push the bushing down a little bit, if not remove it completely, and then I can get my little rod in there from the other side and bang on this bearing and push it out the other way, hopefully. I'll probably warm this up a little bit, maybe spray a little PB blaster on it before I do that, try and help ease it out a little bit. Oh, the smell. If you guys could smell this, it smells burnt and rusted. And you could actually see the grooves in it. Alright, and there's the bushing. So far we've removed the seal and the bushing like that. They both sit in there kind of like that inside of there, about like that. And now I just got to get that bearing out of the top there. So what I can do is either try and pull it somehow this way, pull it that way, or I can try and pound it that way. So I think what I'm going to do is actually flip it over like this, come out like that, and see if I can't pop it out that way. But I'm going to use, again, it's a extension. It's just a normal standard extension. It's a pretty long one. I think it's about a foot long, 12-inch long extension. And I'm going to use the end here that would normally go on the ratchet. It's kind of like not sharp at the end. It's just got a kind of a rounded edge on it, beveled edge, so it won't damage the inside, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is just kind of shove it down in there like that until it catches the edge right about there. And then I'm going to give it a couple pops with a hammer, and hopefully it'll push that bearing out the bottom. I'm going to give it a couple shots with the old PB blaster first, just to help kind of loop things up a little bit in there. This is what about 90% of Bruiser looked like when I got it. Just packed with this red, nasty dirt. It literally just has dirt inside there. Just straight. So like a 16mm socket is almost perfect for this. The other inner bushing out with the 16mm long socket. That worked pretty well. It's just slightly smaller than the bushing, so it pushed it right out and it didn't get caught on the bearing. So just giving you a look at the old dust cap. There's a cap. Inside the cap is a washer, like that, and then the seal, which goes around the washer, like that. And the seal should be sitting inside of the cup, flush against the back, against this part, but with the washer kind of floating inside of that. So you can see that the washer, there's a space around it, just a slight gap, and that gap is where this sits. So really the way it should be is you put this in first, you put your rubber seal in first, like that, and then this goes in inside of that. Kind of like that. And that's how it gets installed, is with that inside of there. It's kind of hung up on the side, but you get the idea. Alright, as for this new one, try and get as much of the dirt out here as I can. Knock that bushing out of this side now. Sorry, I have to do the seal first. Alright, I've got the seal out of the other side. It's the inner seal that popped out. I just got to get the bushing to come out. And there's the bushing. So now we have both bushings and both inner seals out. So I'm just going to soak both sides really good in PB Blaster and let those bearings really just let the penetrating catalyst just get down in there and creep around the frozen up rusted area, because this is really bad. This is like an extremely bad situation, and I don't want to mess up my swing arm because I just can't afford to buy a new swing arm right now. So I'm going to do my best to try and save this. Hopefully I can get these bearings out without destroying them or the outside part that holds the bearing in place.